Okay, we have two different types of paper right here that have been applied with the plaid glow-in-the-dark paint. I've had this for years, but thought I would use it out with my new moons. All right, this paper right here is a printable white film, okay? And I gave this one a try. This is made for going through your inkjet printer, which uses water-based inks. And it has, I guess, this emulsion coating that allows for this film. It's almost like a sheet of plastic, practically. Um, it allows the inks to apply to it. You have to use the correct side, okay? I guess that has that printable side only on one side. So if you ever get this stuff, make sure you're using the correct side. And I tried that one out because I tried this with my paper here. This is just a standard piece of semi-gloss cardstock. If you're doing it on regular paper, you probably want to go with something a little bit heavier than I did here. But you can see where it's really buckled and wavy. Each one of these got between 3 and 4 layers of this glow-in-the-dark paint. I find that you really have to slather it on there. And just one coat's just not going to do it. So you lay it down. I laid it down with a brayer. I just squeezed some paint out on here and spread it around, okay, with my brayer. Light applications, you don't want to squeegee it, otherwise it's like it's squeezing the ink, the paint off of your page. So you have to go in really lightly. But you can get a pretty good layer. And I found that after the first layer, the wet acrylic paint being applied to the dried one, it seemed to grab it a little bit easier, but you start getting a little bit more textured. Now I'm thinking if this works here, that texture might look pretty good because, the moon is textured and, with the craters and things like that, so we can get some good textural form. But I did test these under the light with each layer of acrylic paint. The first one was like super weak and it didn't hold the charge at all, but with about 3 to 4 layers on here that are reasonably thick layers. It held a pretty good charge, and I thought it looked pretty good. All right, so I'm going to stamp out my images on here, and I'm going to use the StazOn solvent ink because I think I'm going to try to apply some of the Saya glow-in-the-dark powders on a couple of these moons. I don't know. We'll have to see how it looks. All right, now I'm hoping I can get good impressions on here because this is a very textured paper at this point in time. Maybe I need to take it off this hardboard and put it onto something softer. I don't know, so that it contours to the bottom of the stamp a little bit easier instead of this hardboard. Oops, that really stuck there. Okay. I need to make much faster impressions. So you can see a little bit of texturing in there. So that's the texture of this paint on here. Let me see. Let me go for a little bit more ink. Let's prep this. And let's work a little bit faster as StazOn dries super, super fast. Okay. So I'm just going to stamp out several of these. I'm going to try to get as many as I can on here. So it's almost like I'm making my own, these aren't stickers, but making my own, I don't know, whatever glow-in-the-dark moons, I guess. And I barely used any of that plaid glow-in-the-dark paint for this, this project, so you can probably make thousands of them. So like I said, I think I'm going to apply some of that Saya glow-in-the-dark powder to it, a couple of these. And I thought, well, if I do that, it's almost like I feel like I'm making cookies or something like that, sugar cookies and decorating them. I think each impression gets a little bit better, I think. Okay, let's try it on the paper here. The semi-gloss cardstock. It looks about the same. The Seiya seems to have a little bit of a, I mean, the printable white film has a cooler look to it, doesn't it? This one has a like a warmer look for some reason. It's kind of interesting. They both look white when I applied it. All right, so this these ripples in the semi-gloss here, they don't really seem to be affecting the impressions. You know, when you stamp over it, it flattens out. And like I said, when you cut out these moons out of here, I don't think it's going to be any type of an issue having that little buckled area. The moons aren't large enough. If they were like, I don't know, if it was an image that was 4 inches wide or something like that, it would probably, you know, it might come into play a little bit, but I don't think this is going to be a problem at all. I didn't stamp one out there. I thought, I'm going to stamp my small moon too, but let me just go for another one right there, and I'll just save this smaller space down here for the smaller moon. So I'm stamping this out with the idea. I don't know how many of these I'll use, but I don't think I'll ever have to do it again. As far as this moon goes, I might do an application maybe at some point in time where, you know, you stamp this somewhere, and on the scene you apply maybe some glow-in-the-dark paint. But these cutouts, you know, something like this, I don't want to be doing it all the time, so I just assume get it all done at once and be done with it. Okay, let's try the smaller full moon here. I think my StazOn pad is already getting a little bit dry. Let's re-ink. We want that StazOn ink to really dry fast for us. That's one of the reasons for its existence. Being able to stamp on anything too is another good reason, you know, reason or function of it. But the bad thing about it is that we go through so much ink when using it. One of the benefits of stamping is the replication of form, right? It's the sole purpose of a rubber stamp in terms of its function. I guess another form is, you know, it gives us pleasure, you know, to acquire for our kind of collections too. Yeah, this is like just doing cookies. It's like making use of like a rolled out, you know, sheet of, you know, rolled dough here. Oops. I'm getting real close down here. I missed that one spot, but when I cut it out, it won't be any big deal. Oh, I know what it is. It's more textured on the side here too, like where you're braring something out and then you stop and then you lift up again, or, you know, there's a lot more buildup of paint right around this edge right here. Okay, let's see. I should have stamped these ones out a little bit more, but I think I'm going to have like more than enough glow-in-the-dark full moons. It's like, well, how many have you like used ever? And I think the answer is like, I was gonna say none. I haven't stamped them out, but I've had these glow-in-the-dark moons that I bought at the store that used to have in the malls called Imaginarium, but they had these cool kind of puffy stickers. And I really like those stickers that they had. And one of them was like the Earth, but then another one time they came out with this glow-in-the-dark moon one that's dimensional, and I've used that in a scene before. Since you can't get them anymore, they're really rare. So what I did was I did a reflection card, so that you'd have the moon reflected down in the water. So you know, you get like two uses. You know, for one or two, I don't know, whatever, two images of it for, you know, one sticker. The stickers came in like a pack of like 4 or something like that, so not very many of them. So all right, so there's my moon cookies. That's what it feels like here. So we will I'll cut these out, and at some point in time I'll use them in a scene. And I figured I'd do some I don't know, different types of things, you know, some bioluminescent waves breaking at night or something like that. I think that'd be really cool. But I don't know, all these little things like this, I think they'll be fun to use. And I don't know, if you're giving a card out to a kid too or something like that, you want to give them like a little bit of an extra, I don't know, kind of a interactive type of experience. You know, they always want to take something like this into like a dark closet or bathroom or something like that if it's during the daytime, and flip off the lights and check it out. Or I always mention this, like when they're going to bed, they can have a card right next to them, so if they turn off the lights, um, you know, they can see it glow. So it's like those little stars you put up in a kid's ceiling or something like that. I don't know, makes it something fun at nighttime. And you know, if they're kind of scared of the dark or something like that too, you know, they want to turn out the lights to be able to see those types of things, so that makes it fun. Anyway, yeah, so we have a lot of these, so I'll figure out a way to apply some of these powders to a couple of these. I think it's just going to be with a little bit of a paintbrush and brushing on like a thin layer of some maybe diluted paint, or maybe some more of the acrylic glow-in-the-dark paint, and then we'll sprinkle some of the different colored powders, and they come in different glow-in-the-dark tones too. There's some blue ones, and there might be orange, I think, but this one's the blue-green, the traditional kind of glow-in-the-dark, you know, look that we associate with glow-in-the-dark things. But there's all kinds of different colors now. All right, so I'll figure that out, and we'll get back to these, and we'll finish these up.